The previous few weeks of video game news have been rather heated, and it seems this one won't be any different. Controversies, announcements, releases, and a new mobile store are all coming from just this past week. More Metroidvanias and more Hades 2 news. New indies don't seem to ever stop coming. Animal Well, a 2D Metroidvania, has been released. The game is developed by a single dev and a custom game engine, providing a quick fix of artisanal Metroidvania as everybody waits for Silksong. This game also marks the first small game published by Big Mode, a publishing company helmed by a popular video game content creator, Video Game Donkey. It is an intricate and specific project, all things considered, with an immediate warm reception upon release. To bring it back into the news, Hades 2 has been released into early access. After a brief technical test, players have gained access to Supergiant Games' new isometric extravaganza. It has surpassed its predecessor already with over 100,000 concurrent players. Players have gotten to meet plentiful new characters as well as some returning ones, as the game keeps the favorite parts of the previous installment while seemingly building on top of them even in the early access. This week in AAA is full of refunds and restrictions, but also a hopeful continuation of a beloved series. Gamers from certain regions who pre-ordered Ghost of Tsushima are getting refunds. After a recent PSN controversy tied to Helldivers 2, Ghost of Tsushima followed suit. Although the single-player component of the game is playable without PSN, the multiplayer component very much isn't. The act of refunding has been done automatically by Steam, Epic Games Store, and Green Man Gaming. Refunds have been issued for all those living in one of the 170 countries without PSN network access. Following previous news, Helldivers 2 is currently delisted in 170 countries itself. The reasoning is the PSN requirement announced previously. The requirement has since been removed, with massive backlash and overall discontent pushing for a revision of the intended changes. With this delisting and the Ghost of Tsushima refunds, PC storefronts seem to have chosen to avoid potential trouble that could stem from selling unplayable or partially playable games. Steam already displays the PSN requirements and what it is required for, so the final reasoning or conclusion to this story is yet to be had. Following the general negativity of previous news, Tango Gameworks and Arcane Austin have been shut down by Microsoft. The studios were allegedly already pitching their new projects when the decision to close them down came. As a reminder, Tango Gameworks were behind last year's Hi-Fi Rush, which Microsoft expressed interest in developing further. Additionally, it was a rather low-budget game that nonetheless sold over 3 million copies. Arcane Austin had a worse year with Redfall, a multiplayer co-op shooter, as the game launched to poor critical and public reception. However, the single-player focused studio was seemingly heading back to their roots before closure, while intending to deliver the promised DLC for Redfall. Resident Evil 9 rumors have surfaced, saying the game may take place on an island. Said island may resemble Singapore, which fits with the leaker mentioning the Southeast Asian Sea in the leaks themselves. An older leak also alleged that Resident Evil 9 will be an open-world game. The combination of the two would certainly fit, as the restricted area of an island would act as a natural barrier for the open world. The leaker in question has been reliable in terms of Resident Evil leaks, so there is some merit behind their words. Additionally, the leaker notes the game may be slated for a 2025 release, as the previously assumed delays are apparently not coming through. Space Marine 2 may come with multiplayer mode. The popular hack and slash and shoot series seems to be implementing multiplayer in its second installment. According to the game's art book, the players will be able to choose from Chaos and Space Marines of various legions in the new game's multiplayer mode. This sort of news is always exciting, as multiplayer is bound to give players more bang for their buck once the main campaign is finished. Space Marine 2 comes out the 9th of December 2024 for those who wish to partake in either single or multiplayer violence. A new store and an old franchise are hitting the mobile market. Sonic Rumble has been announced. Sonic Rumble is a mobile game in the Sonic franchise that aims to bring a new twist to the Battle Royale genre, as players race around a map and collect rings. As sources state, the game won't hold the usual 100-player matches, but 32-player ones whose numbers eventually dwindle down to a single winner. Following Microsoft into the mobile market stories, the tech giant has announced an Xbox mobile store on phones. The Xbox mobile store will start off with a focus on first-party Xbox games, but will aim to expand further as time goes on. The plan seems to be to make the store web-based, thus making it even more accessible, removing the need for any app on your phone. The stated benefit by Sarah Bond, president of Xbox, is that a web-based store allows Xbox to have it be an experience that's accessible across all devices, all countries, no matter what, independent of the policies of closed ecosystem stores. Microsoft will enter the mobile market this summer, as the Xbox mobile store aims to launch in July.